Whenever I check the forums, I see a lot of people complaining that the Predator seems too weak. And when I play Fire Squad, yeah, I can imagine why. The Predator is a hunter, but he gets played way too often as he's a tank. You need to stay at range and weaken the squad and only go in when they are decimated, weakened or busy doing something else. But then I had people tell me that they can't deal enough damage from range. So in this video I'm gonna show you a way of playing the Predator that gets at least me to win almost every single game, and in each step we take a look at some techniques to make it easier. So gear choice matters a lot. Almost everything can work if played properly, but some things are just god tier. First thing I would recommend is taking the Hunter class. The Scout is way too weak and the Berserker in my opinion has too little stamina for this little health more that he gets. Then the Bow is an absolute beast. So if you have it, take it with you. But it works with the Plasma Cannon too. Just if your mask gets destroyed you can't aim anymore with the cannon, but you can with the Bow. Also, the Bow doesn't have an aiming beam. The arrow just leaves a light trail, which is way better than this big aiming beam the cannon has. But the Plasma Cannon has the advantage of the blasting impact, so you can shoot walls and floors near the targets and still damage them. I always use both, depending on the situation. Other than that, the bear trap or the audio decoys with the motion detector can both come in very handy. The audio decoy is best used at places where the squad has to do longer objectives or multiple ones. Then throw a few of those at places where you potentially could be. This will lead to the squad basically ignoring audio cues, and therefore you can move around more freely. The motion detector gives you basically a wall hack. As long as the squad stays nearby, which most of them do because they have to do an objective at a given point, you can see their icons through everything, walls, floors, whatever. So it's amazing for fighting around buildings. The bear trap has two functions. First, since it can't be destroyed, at least I wouldn't know how, it can serve as an aerial of denial. Since the only way to get rid of it is if a squad member steps into one, which you usually don't want to do if a Predator is around. The other function is of course the trapping part, which puts pressure on the squad. It's especially effective if one or more squad members are downed and you want to limit the space the rest of the team has to move around. Another amazing weapon is the net gun. I personally use the spear just for the one-shot down potential, but the net gun can make it all the difference. If you're getting pushed by two people, you can immobilize one and attack the other one so you're not getting damaged. Or if you decide to attack, you can avoid that annoying stun that we're gonna talk about later. So for pushing or preventing pushes, the net gun is amazing. In terms of perks, everything that reduces incoming damage and increases your damage is just perfect. I also like to bring Observant because without it, it can be hard to find fully modded and silent squad on the map. That out of the way, and that was long. At the beginning of a round, enjoy your cosmetics. Don't they look nice? What a Predator. Then move into the center of the map. As soon as the target isolation ability is ready, use it to locate the squad. Move into that direction and try to spot them. If the mud cover is gone by then, which is unlikely, but as soon as it's gone you can mark them using your thermal vision for extra points and a semi-wall hack. With the icon they are way easier to spot, especially through grasses and bushes. If you see them move into a facility that you could reach before them, go there and slap some guards. This will trigger the alarm, which leads to the squad having to deal with more enemies, and that benefits you again. The last thing, I prefer to leap instead of running around in the trees. It's way faster, also you can run straight instead of following the branches. The only thing here, you have to watch your stamina recovery. While you're in the air, you recover stamina, which is pretty funny. So don't sprint when you land and jump as often as you can to recover some stamina. Then the poking part begins. Yes, poking. Not being John Rambo. No. And for this, stay at range. Look for a good position. And there's the first thing I would recommend you do different than most. Don't use the trees. It looks nice and all, but structures, roof and even corners give you a way better opportunity to strike while still covering your whole body. Because in the trees you are so easy to spot and easy to hit. And also the escape is pretty bad, so you will receive a lot of damage. If you use the bow, not much to say there, aim and shoot. For the plasma cannon, hide your red aiming beam. Aim at something in between you and your target and only switch to the target shortly before releasing the shot. This way, they won't see where it's coming from until it's too late. That's another point why trees sucks. They can see the beam from a mile away. Yeah, the core message here, trees suck. There's a place for trees, but it's very situational, so for starters just avoid them. As soon as the squad knows where you are, you should change position. Unless the position you have is just way too good. Like the one right here. Due to the third person camera, I can start aiming at them while being fully covered and just peek when I'm ready to shoot. I have no chance of actually dealing a lot of damage to me that way. One important thing here is to not lose your cool. There will be teams that break line of sight, flank you whenever you start aiming, and all of that makes you feel like more of a hunted rabbit than a predator. But eventually, one of them is going to get too cocky and then you can punish him for that. So just stay calm and wait for your chance. It will come. If you manage to down a player, you have three options. Claim instantly, kill on the ground with either close ranged attacks or ranged ones, or use him as bait. I would recommend you do one of the first two, except for when you're really sure that you can get more out of the situation. For example, when the AI is currently pushing the squad, you are at full health and the downed one is at a really exposed position. That's perfect. Otherwise, I would recommend killing him ASAP. Otherwise, you risk not getting anything out of that down. And there is a huge difference between a 1v4 and a 1v3. The only exception is when somebody is going for the reinforcement mission. If you're lucky enough, you can time it in a way that not all of them get back. Which I didn't manage to do so in this match, unfortunately. Another tip for the reinforcements. The best way is to kill one early, so that they waste the reinforcement for that one player early game. This way you avoid getting a full squad back with all their gear stacked up, because sadly the reinforcement brings back all of their gear too, and it's super easy and quick, which should be addressed by the devs in my opinion, because I feel like it's a reward without punishment, but that's not in that video. If they have hit you hard enough, it's time to heal, and for that, first check if they are chasing you. Don't just run to a corner and start healing. If they chase you, try to escape, it's worth the time, since they are not doing any objectives either. This is especially important when you have second wind active. If you start healing with second wind and the squad spots you, yeah, you're dead. When you found a spot to heal, but you're still unsure, use your cloaking. It's insanely strong while healing, since you basically don't move. When healing, you have to make a choice. If you let the heal animation go through all the way, you completely heal. But you also release a roar that gives the enemy team information about your position and your remaining health kits. So if you're close to fully healed before the roar, cancel the heal. There are also picks on the map that are really only an option if you don't have any heals left, or you see them on your way by accident. I wouldn't recommend actively looking for picks, just you don't have the time for that. If you spot one, kill it from afar if possible. I don't know who designed those things, but they run like the Flash himself. After you've killed a pig, it will stay marked on the map, so whenever you need a heal, you can locate it again and go there and eat it. Melee attacks just suck, period. They deal way too little damage for it to be worth it, and this little human can block your attack, which stuns you and leaves you open. They can do this by also meleeing right when you would hit them, which stuns you for a short duration. And if something goes wrong and you don't have an escape ready, except for a leap, you will receive tons of damage in just a few seconds. You can kind of mind game and Betty knife attack from the other players, but it's a very risky thing to do. So just don't melee against experienced squads, I guess. It's better to do 1-2 attacks and then throw a spear into his face, or a bow, or a cannon, whatever. Or just use melee to finish off an already weakened opponent. Just avoid this stun. I hope this gets changed in a future update, but who knows. For now it's just risky to do. If you decide to melee anyway, do 1-2 attacks, then round around him, attack him again and repeat. Or just do a zigzag motion. This way you avoid the stun most of the times because they won't see the attack coming and you won't get hit by their guns that easily. So what is all of that actually aiming at? The best outcome you can have is an all weakened squad without any heals left. Because a good squad has a lot of health and ammo bags with it. And as long as those things are up, it's very hard to kill them because how fast they can heal using them. So with poking we try to deplete those resources. And when they're all out of heals, it's time to apply even more pressure. They will start going down way more frequently, eventually even panic. So just keep firing at them, and if you feel like it, then whatever man, go in melee, you know the risk now. Because again, avoid that stun, it's so annoying. I mean, why the hell can this little guy with his tiny knife block a full-grown predator with his hunting spear? But okay. But the goal is to deplete all of their resources and then go in for the kill. There will be times where you just have to accept that you're defeated, like I was in this example. No biomask, no arrows, no spear, no heals, and a full squad that just got 3 people reinforced because I lost the last guy, meaning all of their gear and ammunition is back. There was no way in hell I could attack them. So in this case you can either go in and die, or just farm some AI opponents to get more XP. Or look for a pick. There will be times where you just lose, it's part of the game. Don't let that anger you. Try to think what is wrong and try to improve on that. For example, I attacked when I thought he was alone, which he wasn't, and I got completely destroyed, which cost me a whole heal for that. A quick look with my thermal vision would have told me that he's not alone. So learn from your mistakes and you will get better eventually until you're a full-grown predator. Alright, I think that summarizes basically everything that you need to become a good predator. There is of course a lot more to talk about, like movesets, which gadget is best used at which situation and so on. We could even discuss builds, because the Berserker can maybe be viable as a close range predator with some builds, but I think what I've shown you in this video is kind of a very adaptable predator and can do well in every situation. But if you have questions about something, just leave them in the comment section below. I'm always happy to help, and see you in the next video guys. Bye bye. What the fuck?